It was an icy winter morning, and Donald Trump was cruising through the streets of New York City in his car, heading to an important meeting. The crisp, biting air filled the atmosphere, while the streets were alive with busy commuters, all hurrying toward their destinations. Amid the hustle, something caught Trump's eye at a street corner. There, on the cold sidewalk, was a man wrapped in a worn military jacket and an old, fraying blanket. Next to him, a cardboard sign with bold, simple letters read, "I am a veteran. Please help." Without a moment's hesitation, Trump instructed his driver to pull over. He turned to his security detail with determination and said, "I need to know who he is." Stepping out of the vehicle, the sharp winter wind immediately stung his face, but it didn't stop him. Trump made his way toward the man, drawing curious looks from passers-by. The man, noticing Trump's approach, flinched slightly but remained sitting, his body hunched with exhaustion. Trump approached him with a gentle, compassionate tone and asked, "Hello, what's your name?" The man looked up slowly, his voice soft and weary as he responded, "My name is John. John Miller." Kneeling down to meet John's gaze at his level, Trump's eyes conveyed understanding and kindness as he asked, "Tell me your story, John." John wrapped his trembling hands tighter into the worn-out blanket, took a slow, deep breath, and began to speak. His voice was shaky but strong, carrying the weight of years of hardship. "I'm a veteran," he said, his words quiet but filled with deep emotion. "I joined the military when I was 22. I served in Afghanistan, and we faced unimaginable challenges there. I lost friends, fought every day just to stay alive, but the hardest part wasn't what happened over there. It was coming back and realizing that nothing was the same anymore." Trump listened with full attention, his face reflecting the gravity of John's words. As John spoke, his voice wavered. "I was badly injured during one of the missions," he continued, his eyes shadowed with pain. "A blast took my friends from me, and I can never forget that moment. When I came home, I got medical treatment, but my soul, it wasn't healed." John paused, his eyes filled with unshed tears, his head lowered slightly. "My family abandoned me. They told me I was a burden. I lost my job, and when I couldn't pay my bills, I lost my home too. And that's when I ended up on the streets, cold, hungry, and completely alone." John's voice cracked as he spoke, the pain in his words palpable. No one reached out to help. It felt like I had just been forgotten, like I didn't matter anymore. I once fought for this country, risked my life for it, and now it feels like no one even sees me. People walk right past me, as if I'm invisible, like I'm a ghost. Trump's expression darkened with sorrow as he absorbed every word, his empathy growing stronger with each sentence. But John wasn't finished. His hands gripped his blanket tighter, and he continued, his voice barely above a whisper. "Last winter, I was sleeping on the streets, and the man next to me, he froze to death right there beside me. When I woke up, he was still wrapped in his blanket, lifeless. I called the police, but it was too late. He was a Vietnam veteran. What terrifies me the most is thinking that one day, that could be me. That someone might find me like that, frozen, forgotten." John's tear-filled eyes met Trump's as he asked, his voice trembling, "Why did I survive? Why am I still here?" Trump inhaled deeply, his heart heavy with the weight of John's words. His voice was steady, but filled with deep emotion as he answered, "John, a man like you should never have to be in this situation. You gave your life to serve this country, and yet it has failed you. But I promise you, that's going to change. This will not be the end for you. I swear to you, things will get better." John stared at Trump, his face a mixture of disbelief and newfound hope. "Really?" he asked, his voice cracking. "You would do this for me?" Without hesitation, Trump nodded. "Yes, John. You fought for this country, and now this country needs to fight for you. This is just the beginning. The darkness you're living in will end, and together, we will make it right." For the first time in what seemed like years, tears of hope began to fall down John's face. This wasn't just someone offering him a hand. Trump was offering him a lifeline, a chance at a brighter future, a chance to believe that tomorrow could be different. Trump took out his phone and quickly dialed, Book the nearest hotel for him and get a doctor on site, he instructed with authority. Then, turning to his bodyguard, he added, get a hot meal for John now. Moments later, the bodyguard returned with a steaming bowl of soup and a sandwich. At first, John hesitated, overwhelmed by the simple kindness of the gesture. But after a moment, he took a bite. As he chewed, his eyes filled with tears. It's been so long since I've had something warm to eat, he murmured softly. Trump remained by his side, offering gentle words of encouragement as John finished his meal. About an hour later, a sleek black SUV arrived. Trump helped John into the car, guiding him toward the hotel where a private room awaited him. When they arrived, John was shown to his room, where a warm shower, clean clothes, and a soft bed awaited. For the first time in what felt like forever, John felt a glimmer of dignity and hope. Trump made sure John received proper medical care as a doctor examined him and planned for his recovery. The next morning, Trump met John at a beautifully set breakfast table. John, Trump said with a smile, I've put together a plan for you. There's an organization called Veterans United that helps homeless veterans get back on their feet. I'm going to connect you with them, and I'll personally cover all your expenses for the first year. John looked up at Trump, eyes wide in disbelief. Really? You're doing this for me? He asked, his voice trembling with emotion. Trump nodded, his smile warm and reassuring. Yes, John. You served this country, and now it's time for this country to serve you. This is the least I can do. Later that day, John met with a representative from Veterans United, who walked him through all the resources available to him, housing, job training, counseling, to help him rebuild his life. Trump handed John a check from his foundation to cover immediate expenses. Overwhelmed with gratitude, John's eyes filled with tears once again. This feels like a miracle, he said softly. I never thought my life could change this quickly. Before leaving, Trump turned to John one last time. One day, he said, you'll have the chance to help someone else. This world becomes a better place when we reach out to others. John, now filled with a sense of determination, looked at Trump and replied, I promise one day I'll pay it forward. Trump turned to the camera and addressed the viewers, his voice filled with heartfelt sincerity. There are so many people in need in this country. Let's not ignore them. Even the smallest gesture can change someone's life. Sometimes, all it takes is one person to be a beacon of hope. We all have the power to make a difference. The video concluded with images of John starting a new life, moving into a safe home, preparing for work, and smiling with renewed hope for the future. He now had a place to call home, a sense of purpose, and dignity restored. This was proof that one act of kindness can change everything. If this story touched you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories. Together, let's spread hope and kindness.